It's time for yet another team comparison episode where we compare two top teams in recent Premier League history. And if you're wondering why there's lots of Liverpool lately, it's because Liverpool and City literally dominated the Premier League for a good part of the last decade. So, as much as we would like to avoid Liverpool, we just simply can't. Today we're discussing Liverpool 2024 to 25 versus Chelsea 14 to 15, Antonio Conte versus Slot. And Victor, without wasting much time, which of these both sides was better in terms of players, achievements, and overall outlook? I mean, you're wearing a Liverpool jersey, but please give us an objective answer.
I mean, they were very similar in terms of achievements. Premier League title, round of 16 exit from the Champions League. Okay, Chelsea had the League Cup win and one loss fewer in the Prem that season. But if you look at the table and at the way they played, both won the title comfortably. However, I probably, based on the League Cup win, have to give it to Chelsea here. But it must be said that both sides were more than a bit lucky. Liverpool didn't face much adversity in the league because City slumped and Arsenal constantly bottled their title challenges. At the same time, Chelsea's Prem win came before the era of Guardiola and Klopp. So I feel like there's a lot of luck involved for both these teams.
Yeah, fair enough. And Max, just on another note, Slot winning the title in his debut season, one of only 7 managers to do that in Premier League history, or Chelsea being first from matchday 1 to matchday 38, the only side to have done that so far to date. Which of these feats is more impressive?
I mean, if you look just from the perspective that Slot only came in the team and you already have Arteta, Guardiola, Maresca, everybody else already established in the league and they're doing their job, and you come in and win the league, yeah, probably it's more difficult. But if you look on the whole situation, that both Arsenal and Man City struggled, they won one less trophy, they got lesser points, it probably feels like Chelsea did it a bit more, I'd say easier maybe even, but for me it's quite 50-50, but just because of the amount of trophies, I'll go with Chelsea here.
Fair point. And Victor, which of these two sides was more exciting to watch?
It's starting to look like a clean sweep for Chelsea because I'm going with them here as well. They were involved in some great matches that season. The 6-3 win over Everton in August. They lost 5-3 to Spurs. Both their performances against Swansea were great. Sure, Liverpool played some amazing football too last season, but it felt a bit sterile to me at times, especially because you compare to that rock and roll sort of thing that Klopp had going on. And another reason I'm going with Chelsea is because I absolutely loved watching Willian and Hazard on the wings.
Fair point. And over to you, Max. Player for player, which team would dominate in a combined 11?
Well, honestly, before when I looked at the squads, I felt like probably Liverpool would be a bit more amount of my squad, but I ended up with, okay, for goalkeeper there was pretty much 50-50, but I always loved Courtois and I had to pick him. As a right back, I had Alexander-Arnold. I wouldn't say that it was a solid pick, but for my squad, at least, it felt like he has to be there. For the central defenders, obviously Van Dijk and Terry. I would love to see the squad even now. For left back, I go with Azpilicueta just because Robertson wasn't that great last season, and it just feels like peak Azpilicueta was above everybody. For the CDMs, I'll go with both Gravenberch and McAllister. I feel like there was pretty much nobody in Chelsea squad to fit this position at the moment. For the attackers, I go with Salah, Fabregas, and Hazard. When I looked at the stats that Fabregas had 11 assists, I felt like he must be in this squad. And for the striker, as I have Alexander-Arnold, we need somebody like Diego Costa who can take all of that corners and score everything. So I ended up with 6 Chelsea players and 5 Liverpool players.
Fair enough.
At least you didn't say Darwin Nunez.
All right. So, Victor, what would your combined 11 look like?
Far more dominant for one side than the other. It's 7-4 for Liverpool. I'm picking Alisson because it's Alisson, and I'm picking Robertson because to me, he's my favorite Liverpool player at the moment and in the recent past as well. At centre back, we share the same thought, Terry and Van Dijk, absolutely. At right back, I'm picking Branislav Ivanovic, though. He was a defender's defender compared to Trent and could get things done in attack as well. Had that power about him that you just cannot leave out, at least in my view. After that, ahead of them in midfield, I've got Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Fabregas. I feel like it's a nice balance. It's uber creative, but it still strikes a nice balance. And in attack, I'm going with Salah, Hazard, and Gakpo. I mean, let me put it this way. I cannot bring myself to pick a shithouse like Diego Costa. So it has to be Gakpo, 7-4 for Liverpool.
Right.
He
Fair
did
enough.
20 goals that season. That should be.
I know, but Gakpo also plundered a fair few.
Right. I don't think people would agree with Gakpo, but yeah. Moving on. Max, if both sides were to compete in the current Premier League, where do you think they will finish respectively? I mean, Liverpool are already giving us the answer to that one.
Somewhere around 10th place, look like. But obviously, I'd say that this Liverpool squad was a bit more. I'd say they're most established for the current football, obviously, because they're playing this football. And it feels like back in the day for this Chelsea squad, it was more about defense, while currently it's more about attack. And you look for the guys like even Salah, it just feels like you have to score more goals than rely on defense. So I'll probably say Liverpool.
Interesting. I mean, the current standings in the league does not say that. I would actually try to think that the Premier League is more suited for defense with a decent attack, in my opinion. Your attack doesn't need to be super, but decent enough.
The thing is, if we look at this season, and I'm not here to crap on either Liverpool from last season or Chelsea in 14-15, but I think Chelsea, like Liverpool, it's obvious. We can see it in real time and it's not pretty. But with Chelsea, I don't think they would win it either this season. If you look at the landscape at the moment, City are doing well, Villa are great, Arsenal, obviously, although I still think they're going to cock it up somehow. I think Chelsea would challenge, but I think they would ultimately fall short.
Fair point. And Victor, just on a final note, if you're a manager and you had to choose one of both teams, which would you go for?
Liverpool. Apart from my bias here, it's not about that, but I would like to inject a little bit of chaos into what felt like too professional of a season somehow.
Interesting. Max, your answer to that one?
I mean, looking at the summer transfers, it feels like you would love to be in Liverpool squad when you already won the title and you have 500 million to sign more players like Isak or Weirds or anybody else. It just feels like you want to be there.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, if it was me, I would go for Liverpool as well. But yeah, what do I know? I mean, I'm only saying that because I would never do anything with Chelsea. But anyways, that is the end of our team comparison video. Liverpool 24-25 versus Chelsea 14-15. Which side was the better side in terms of achievement, an overall outlook, and which of these teams would dominate in a combined 11? We're asking our viewers to join us in the conversation and tell us what you think, if you agree or disagree with some of our answers.